Hi everybody. Today's story is called Dark Green Plaid Flannel Sleep Pants. I hope you enjoy. Can I borrow some of your detergent? A voice interrupted me. Today is laundry day, like it is every Thursday night as soon as I get off work. I looked up from sorting my clothes to find this nice looking guy next to me. Short brown hair, tan skin, blue eyes, my height. He wore a blue tank and blue shorts, green flip-flops. He carried a large bag of dirty clothes. "I'm new here," he said, "still unpacking, and I know I have detergent, but I don't know where it is. I'm Thad." "Sean," I said, and passed him a couple of laundry packs. "Will two do?" "Thanks. You live here?" Thad asked. "Two buildings down. You?" "By the swimming pool," Thad said. He dumped out his clothes and divided them up into two piles. On top of one were a faded pair of dark green plaid flannel sleep pants with a hole in the knee. Thad must have seen me staring. "Don't laugh, but they're comfortable. My dog likes curling up to them because they are so soft." "You have a dog?" I asked. "Chihuahua named Pepperoni. Hyper little thing." Thad pulled out his phone, shuffled through the pictures, and pulled one of him and his dog. "Cute. Why call her Pepperoni?" I asked. "I'd gone to work the day after I got her," Thad said, putting his phone away. "She got into this grocery sack I'd forgotten about, tore open a pack of pepperoni and tried one. She didn't like it and spat it out. She played with the package so much that I had pepperoni everywhere." "There you are. I can't believe how inconsiderate you are," Ahmed said, stomping into the laundry room. "Felix, my ex. How dare you have the complex change locks on me? How do you expect me to get my furniture if I can't get in? Break a window? The office won't let me in." "I'm still waiting for the $300 you owe me for last month's bills," I said. $300? After all the money I spent on your sorry butt?" "I'm not letting you stiff me again," I said. "I know you've got it." Felix pursed his lips and reached into his pocket. "I can't believe it's come to this. You know I still love you. We don't have to do this." "I want you gone," I said. "You're right. We had something. Then I found out about your boyfriends. I thought we were committed, but you were seeing everybody else on the side." "I said I'm sorry," Felix said. He opened a bank envelope and pulled out the money. "Me too," I said. "Get your furniture and get out." "I can't believe you," he said. "Fine." I stared at the man I used to love. I didn't have feelings for him anymore, unless I counted disgust as a feeling. "Thad, can you watch my clothes for a few minutes? Hopefully this won't take long." "Who's this?" Felix said. "Thad. Just moved in," Thad said. "Go ahead, Sean. I've got 2 loads. I'll be here for a while." I had led Felix back to the apartment, 2nd floor. It looked out on the road. The loading truck waited in 2 parking spaces below. Felix's brother and a friend waited by my door. I let them in and watched them move a couch, a desk, a computer, lots of clothes, some shelves. "I want our bed," Felix said. "Who are you going to sleep with this time?" I said. "I'm sorry," Felix said. "I paid half. Either you give me the money or the bed." Just to get rid of him, I gave him back his $300. I said, "Take it. Did you and your other boyfriends do anything in it?" Felix didn't answer. "I can't believe this. Take the sheets. I'll buy new." It took them more than an hour to get the last of his crap out of there. I grabbed a couple of beers from the fridge, locked up, and ran back to the complex laundry room. Thad was still there. He must be the most patient man in the city. His clothes were folded in 2 neat piles. He was folding mine as I entered. He looked up and unplugged his earbuds. "Everything go all right?" I set the beer down in front of him. "This is to say thanks. You didn't have to do that." "I know," Thad said, "but I figured, why not? What's the story?" I took a pair of pants and folded them. "We were together for a year. Then one of his other boyfriends came looking for him. Neither one of us knew about the other. I found out he'd been having one-night stands and short-term relationships outside of ours. I kicked him out." He didn't sound too happy about it. "I wasn't too happy about it either," I said, grabbing a pair of my briefs and folding them. "I went to the doctor and had him run a few tests. I'm lucky." He He doesn't believe in condoms? I didn't wait to find out. I said, listen, for watching over my clothes, washing them, and folding them, let me buy you dinner to say thanks. Dad gave me a tired smile. I'd love to, as long as we don't make it a late night. I am exhausted. First day at your new job? First week. Come by my place around 7. I'll introduce you to my dog. You can show me a nice place to eat. Wear something nice, I said. Not my worn flannels, Thad said, grinning. Those are for later, I said, slightly flirting. I know this Italian place. I'm buying. Just like that, I had a date tonight. I took my clothes back to my place, showered, dressed, found a nice cologne, dark brown slacks, teal button-down shirt, a nice jacket that goes with everything. And it was time. Thad also lived on the second floor in his building. I took the stairs, 2 at a time, and rang his bell. A moment later, he answered. He had just gotten out of the shower, skin slightly damp, hair slightly spiked and wet, a nice fresh scent about him, wearing khaki slacks and a lavender shirt, still unbuttoned. Come on in, he said. Let me introduce you to my roommate. Pepperoni was a short-haired, pudgy chihuahua. She had white fur that barely covered her skin, beige ears, and a large beige spot on her side. Hey, Pep, I said, kneeling. The dog barked, wagged her tail, and barked again. I held my hand out and let the dog smell me. One sniff, and she let me scratch behind her ears. As guard dogs go, Thad said, she's so friendly she'll invite anybody in if she could reach the doorknob. Give me a minute to finish getting dressed. Thad still had everything in boxes. His couch had spaces to sit, but unopened boxes served as his coffee table and end tables. A stack of 10 boxes lined the wall in his dining room. I'm still trying to figure out where to put stuff, Thad yelled from the bedroom. I figure in another week I'll be able to invite my family over. You live local? I asked. The dog's water dish was low, so I filled it. Used to. I migrated to Los Angeles but got sick of the traffic, so I came back. Welcome back to the Butte. Nothing's quieter than a small town in Nevada. That sounds so nice right now. Thad came out wearing an ivory cardigan over the lavender shirt. The lavender brought out the blue in his eyes. The man knew how to dress. You're not wearing a tie? He said. Good, because I haven't found mine. Do you need some help unpacking? Not tonight. I am so sick of boxes, Thad said. Is it in walking distance? Your car or mine? I drove. Just outside of downtown is a nice place. Mama Italiana's. It's been rated best Italian in Nevada 3 years running. Homemade pasta, homemade bread, homemade everything. They boasted a chef trained in Venice and a wine bar featuring the best wines Nevada could offer. If that didn't satisfy, there's the imported Italian stuff. We took our seats and we ordered steaks, pasta, salads, a feast. After a glass of wine, we relaxed. I don't remember what we talked about, but the conversation didn't lull. 2 hours, then we went for a walk downtown. The park had a bandstand with a live band that wasn't too bad. We stood, listened, had fun. All too soon, 10 hit. I've got to get back, Thad said. I'm up at 5. I drove us back to our complex, parked the car, then walked him to his place. That was fun, I said. What if I came by on Saturday to help you with some of the boxes? Then I'll take you to this place I saw. Lupe's, I think it's called. I know the place, but I haven't been there yet. It's a date. I gave Pep one last scratch under the chin, and I went back to my place. Tonight had been refreshing. For once, I made it through a dinner without fighting with Felix. And I didn't have to worry about him sleeping around. Best part? Thad was very easy to talk to. And attractive. Let's get back to my place, already planning what I would wear on Saturday. I texted one of my friends and told him. We sent messages back and forth until 11. Then I went to bed. I woke. Complete darkness. No light came from my clock, or stove, or even my charger. I clicked on a lamp. Nothing. I found my phone. 3:14 in the morning. The power was out, but that wasn't what awakened me. It wasn't silent. It sounded like the crowd at a basketball game. The darkness was broken by red and blue flashing lights. Sirens blocked out the noise of the crowd. Something like a rumble came from outside. I dressed in seconds, and while I pulled on a t-shirt, I ran to the window and looked outside. Fire trucks, a couple of ambulances, a lot of police cars. A harsh burning smell polluted the air. Somebody pounded on my door, and pounded, and pounded. I opened it. A policeman. "We're evacuating the complex." "What's going on?" I asked. "Fire." He pointed at a building. Thad's building. "They're shutting off the gas mains now, but they discovered a problem with one of the valves." "Could it blow up?" "I hope not," the officer said, "but we want everyone out of here." I said, "My friend and his dog lived in the building on fire. Did anyone survive?" The police officer gave me a sympathetic smile. "I'm sorry. I don't have that information. Get what you need and get out of here." This is one of those times I'd never thought about. 1 minute. What do you grab? Pictures? Tax records? Clothes? Laptop? A sinking sensation fell through my stomach. What about Thad and pepperoni? I stuffed an old backpack with important papers and my laptop, made sure I had my wallet, keys, and phone, locked up, and I followed the police. They had cordoned off an area for the emergency crews to work, while the rest of us congregated across the street. I looked for Thad, for anyone with a dog. "Thad," I called. "Over here." Thad sat on the curb, holding his dog. He only wore his worn flannel sleep pants. No shoes, no shirt, only a dog. The light caught the smudges across his face and chest. I sat beside him. "Hey." He looked at me, his eyes red. He smelled of smoke. He smiled, but there was no humor in it. I spent all that time doing laundry, too. At least everything was clean. "You and Pep okay?" I asked. I placed my arm around his shoulders and drew him close. If I was in his place, I think that's what I would have wanted. Thad didn't draw away. He nodded. "It happened so fast. We were asleep. The smoke alarm startled Pep so bad she barked like a maniac. Smoke was everywhere. I got us out." "Do you know what started it?" The couple upstairs were having a romantic night. Candles everywhere. Thad looked at his dog, but I don't think he was seeing his dog. "I guess I don't have to worry about all the boxes anymore," his voice broke, "or laundry, or food." "Are you sure nothing survived?" "I grabbed my wallet and keys," he said. "If the fire didn't destroy it, the water would." "That's it?" "Plus this." Thad pulled out his wallet and opened it. He had a condom inside. Thad must be on the verge of losing his mind. Maybe me too, because we both chuckled. I held his hand. He held mine. Somehow we made it through the next 3 hours until everything settled down and the police finally let us back in the complex. I led Thad to my place. He sat on the bed while I found him something to wear. Thad and his dog curled up on the mattress. I hoped they slept. I would. He only owned an old pair of flannel pants and a dog. I went into the other room, made coffee, and called my work. I told them what had happened, and they gave me the day off before I could even ask for it. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my keys. Call me crazy. I pulled off the spare. A soft sound came from my bedroom. I looked in. Thad lay on his side, facing away from the door. He held Pep, but I don't think either of them slept. Another noise. A very soft sob. I walked around to his side of the bed, to find his face shiny with tears. I knelt beside him and took his hand. I took the spare key and placed it in Thad's hand, not letting go. "Why don't you and Pep stay here for a couple of days?" Thad took a deep breath and wiped his eyes. "Thanks. I don't know what I'm going to do." "Go get a shower. You can borrow some clothes from me. Call your work," I said, and I rubbed my thumb over the back of his hand to let him know that I was there for him. "I'll make some breakfast. Then we can make a list of what else you need." "I can't pay you back for any of this. Not for a while anyway," Thad said. "When your life settles down, I know this nice place, an expensive place, with expensive wine that I've never been to," I smiled, "where you can take me out to dinner." "You're on," Thad said. "Just give me a month." I pulled him out of bed, tossed him a towel, and smiled. This isn't a free ride. I still have to pay rent and utilities. "Me and Pep owe you," Thad said, smiling back. Thank you for all of this. Thad went into the bathroom. I went into the kitchen and put on a denim apron and made a cholesterol nightmare. Eggs, bacon, hash browns fried in bacon grease, grilled ham, canned baked beans with large chunks of fried bacon added. I like bacon. Not exactly a traditional English breakfast, but something a little bit fancier than a bowl of oatmeal. I cut up some ham for Pep and set some water down for her. Somebody pounded on the door, and pounded, and pounded. A repeat of last night. The fire must have flared, or another gas main could erupt. Thad, you better hurry. I turned the stove down, wiped my hands on the apron, and opened the door to the cops. It wasn't the cops, nor the firemen, nor any emergency personnel I'd ever seen, not even a crossing guard. It was Felix. The night must have stressed Pep out because the friendliest dog backed away from the door and barked, non-stop, and growled. Pep, sit, I said. I didn't know what else to say. Pep sat, but she still barked. I reached down and picked up the dog and held her. What are you doing here, Felix? Felix eyed the dog, then me. I heard about the fire. It's been on all the stations, and I came to see if you were all right. When did you get a dog? Pep kept barking. Her claws dug into my arm, and I had to shift her position to ease pressure. Is everything all right? Sean said, barging out of the bathroom, frantically wrapping the towel around himself. Pep's never barked like that. Somebody pounded on the door and scared her, I said. Why, at this time of the morning? Sean stepped beside me and took the dog. He took one look at Felix. Aren't you the guy from yesterday? Felix said, I came to see if Thad was all right. I'm fine. Now go, I said. I know it's bad timing, Felix said, eyeing Sean's current state of dress, or lack of, but I wanted to get back together with you. What would it take for you to get out of my life? I said. Thad left the door for a moment, then came back with his wallet. We were happy together, Felix said. Maybe in the beginning, I said, but not for... Thad, Sean said, you're being too nice. After the night we've had, let me handle this. Felix, I would see the doctor if I were you. When did you get your results back, Thad? What's today? Is it Friday? That would make it 2 days ago. What are you talking about? Felix said. Sean handed my ex the condom. Felix, you need to learn how to use one of these. I pity you. I don't know how you're going to explain this to all the people you slept with. Explain what? Felix said, looking at the small package. Thad, did you really live with someone so stupid? Sean said. He spoke slowly, as if talking to a baby. Go see a doctor. Have a blood test. Tell your boyfriends not to have sex until they have one too. You and your little diseases are not welcome here. Goodbye. Blood test? Felix said, eyes widening. He took a step back. Sean closed the door on Felix. Something smells really good, and I'm starving. Thad, I said. The doctor said I'm clean. I know, Sean said, holding his dog a little tighter. Think of it as revenge. Let's say Felix can even get into a doctor today and get a blood test. It's a weekend. So the results would have to come Tuesday or Wednesday. Later, if he can't get an appointment until Monday. He'll spend the entire weekend wondering what is wrong with him. He won't go out, won't sleep with anybody. He'll sit at home worrying. If he has any kind of a conscience, he'll call everyone he slept with to tell him. He'll be so embarrassed, I said. At the least. They'll have to get to the doctor on Monday. Won't get their results back until Wednesday or Thursday. They'll be furious with him. For the next week, I said, Felix will be living in a nightmare. You're mean. Nobody upsets my dog and gets away with it, Sean said, glancing at me almost shyly. Or the cute guy who's trying to help me out. The dog wanted down. His leg caught in the towel. The dog jumped down. So did the towel. Dad looked down at the towel lying on the floor. Where did you say you left those clothes again? Specifically, pants. I'm going to like my new roommate. Too bad he's only here for a couple of days. That couple of days turned into a couple of weeks, then a couple of months, then A couple of rings.